Radiant team ban.
Alright folks, we're back at the Dota 2 Open Chicago, sponsored by SteelSeries and Merlini Dota, $1,000 prize pool, and of course held at the Ignite Gaming Lounge. You can check them out, ignitegl.com. All the information about where the event is, all those details, is both in the overlay and on all sorts of sites. Obviously, there were a couple Reddit posts, a couple Team Liquid posts. You can check all that out. The second event of this series has been announced. It's going to have double the teams and I think double the everything, basically. That's going to be in August. But let's go back to this one. We took a quick break, a brief sort of halftime in the tournament with, of course, we had the 1v1 Merlini challenges that we had a chance to watch a couple of. We saw the Queen of Pain and the Pudge. Didn't get a chance to watch the other ones, but it's no big deal. And here we are back to the winners bracket finals. So this will be a best of one. In fact, why don't we scope out the brackets right now? So we've got, this is the winner's bracket final. Altered State, please gank Shiibbyy. Altered State came through the winner's bracket. We saw their game against 2HU, where they kicked off our Dota 2 Open, sponsored by Merlini, with a Merlini-ish strat, the Zeus solo mid, the massive global effects. That was a very fun game to watch. I'm glad we got a chance to kick off on that note. Of course, Please Gank Shiibbyy also came through the winner's bracket. We watched their game against Ice Cream City, where they were just able to overwhelm with excellent teamfight coordination. They had a Warlock support. That was a fairly unusual choice, but nonetheless, paid off for them. The other game going on, we will not get a chance to speculate it. We won't get a chance to spectate it. Is Ice Cream City versus What's the Roche Time? That's the loser's bracket round 3 match going on right now. Winner of that plays loser of this game right now, and then the winner of the loser's bracket final will go up to face the grand final best of 3. So that's a look at the bracket. Let's go back to the game. We do have some interesting picks coming out already. Please Gank Shiibbyy coming out with an unusual Mirana second pick. So this sort of signals their intent to go a little bit differently from what you usually see. Io slipping for once to 4th ban. And Altered State clearly thinks that Please Gank Shiibbyy is still going for a multi-core as they take out the anti-mage. Also the Warlock that went so well for PGS in their previous game. Clearly Altered State took a look at that because that's the only case that you would actually see the Warlock as a second ban, is if the team knows that one of the teams is going to go for it. Meanwhile, they're going with a pretty similar lineup as well. They have the Rubik already and the Nature's Prophet. Of course, Spectre banned out, so clearly both of these teams doing a little bit of research on each other in terms of knowing that they might follow the Nature's Prophet with the Spectre for more global on the part of PGS, and of course Altered State, they're like, oh, you like that Warlock? We'll take that out nice and early. And wow, this is going from strange to stranger. You're curiouser to curiouser. Not that these are bad heroes, just unusual choices, especially taken so early. The Lifestealer comes out for Altered State, so they're going for pure power, even with his nerfs. Lifestealer, still an extremely strong early game sort of carry choice, and even into the mid and late games he's very strong. PGS, meanwhile, going for this very much mid-game carry-focused meta. Of course, Mirana can be run as a support or even as a mid. Her base damage, pretty mediocre, but her magic damage, her spells, she just has an incredible toolkit, and it's gotten banned many times. Sorry, it's gotten buffed many times. The arrow, of course, now does extra damage for further distance. The Starstorm, very strong. The second hit will always land. It won't just go on a dead body anymore. And the Moonlight Shadow has been banned so many times that people finally started actually leveling it. It's just 15 seconds of stealth is no laughing matter. It's like a better smoke. And they also take Storm Spirits. That gives them their mid. Potentially we could see something like a Shadow Fiend solo safe and then a Mirana, Bane, and X tri-lane. The other option, of course, is something like a Mirana solo safe and a Shadow Fiend based tri-lane, although tough to say. But yeah, respect bans, as somebody noted in Twitch chat, still coming out. And Altered State, one more pick, and then we head into the last picks. We're going to have the 5th pick for PGS and the 5th pick for Altered State happening on their own little siloed thing. That's what I'm still not used to with the new Dota, with the new Captain's mode. I'm still always surprised that there's this one bonus pick. It's almost like Ice Frog is telling you to make pocket picks. Make something that makes a good 5th pick siloed off by itself that takes your opponent by surprise. And the new Puck, so we will get to see today both of the heroes that were changed in the patch, not in terms of their functionality, but in terms of their appearance. Puck, of course, had a little bit of a jaw surgery, like the entire giant lower jaw, the underbite, some people called it, of Puck is just surgically removed, and a much thinner, more insectoid face now for this hero. Please Gank Shiibbyy, meanwhile, still going pell-mell at that global strat. They take out the Ancient Apparition, so Altered State will not have access to that AA, and they finish off with a Bounty Hunter. So that means that this will be what I like to call the Fluff and Stuff support Mirana, because it was popularized by former Complexity team captain and now Team Liquid player Fluff and Stuff. So Mirana going to be run as a support. Of course, her carry potential is a little bit wonkier than a lot of heroes. She really doesn't have a lot of damage until she gets 2 or 3 major damage items. But her spells are excellent. If you can land the arrow, if you can use the Moonlight Shadow to its best potential, Mirana actually has fantastic spellcasting. So you can run her as a support, and that's exactly what they're doing here. Now it looks more like a Bounty Hunter solo hard lane, Shadow Fiend Mirana Bane-based tri-lane, and a Storm Spirit middle. And this is a terrifying mid-game composition. As long as the Storm Spirit hits 6 for Ball Lightning, and the Bounty Hunter hits a normal 6 for track, PGS are going to just be able to deal a psychotic amount of damage to Altered State's heroes in that mid-game. And if I'm Altered State, I start thinking about how can we successfully play the early game defensively enough, or how can we sort of pressure PGS so much that they don't hit those timely level 6 and we keep the Shadow Fiend down. I was casting Starladder with Shiibbyy the other day, and we were discussing the Shadow Fiend, and when I think about Shadow Fiend, I think about a hero who contains both the opportunity to snowball, as well as a really unique opportunity to anti-snowball. If he starts dying, he could just die again and again and again, losing Necromastery stacks as he goes, and just becoming irrelevant in the game. He really needs to have a successful early game, because it's in that early mid-game into the mid to late game that he really just dominates other carries. Necromastery makes you scale a lot quicker than a lot of other heroes, as well as the fact that your Q is 3 nukes in 1, your Shadow Rays. But those don't scale. They have a tipping point at which, you know, they're no longer the best thing on the map, and they're no longer able to just dominate the other team. So Gank Shiibbyy will definitely be looking to make sure that they hit their levels and just dominate. Especially, they could... I'll be very interested to see how much detection Altered State pursues in this game, because being able to handle that Moonlight Shadow is going to be incredibly important. Especially being able to see Mirana coming and maybe Mirana Bane roaming ganks is going to be super important. You can see right off the bat, Observer wards and Sentry wards picked up for Rubik, so this makes perfect sense. It's a very, very smart pickup. They're going to need both to counter ward and maybe to have an early warning system for smoke ganks early on. If PGS could get a couple smoke ganks early, I mean, they're going to just be way, way ahead early on. So let's introduce our teams. Altered State, they showed us that MYM-style global strategy. We'll see what they have in store this game. Of course, much more of a standard lineup, standard strong heroes. Puck, of course, a great pickup here. The Silence going to be extremely effective against Storm Spirit, effective against Bane, even to some extent against Shadow Fiend. So, we've got this I'm Famous. He's up on the Puck in the middle. We have the tri-lane of Cian, so he corrected me. It's not Ian. I thought it was Ian. It's not. It's Cian. So he's up on the Lifestealer, supported by Best Co-op NA. What was his name the last time? I can't even remember. Let's look it up. Let's not. We'll just go for Best Co-op NA. He was up on the Rubik this time. Oh, he must have been... he probably is the Co-op that defeated Merlini in the 1v1 challenge. That's funny. So, Best Co-op NA up on the Rubik. And finally, supporting his V-Carbs on the Lion. And Novocaine as the Nature's Prophet on the offlane, reprising his role of the Nature's Prophet from their previous game. Ooh, bold words, grand final, shots fired. It might still be. I mean, one team could get knocked down and then come all the way back up. Meanwhile, for PGS, a little bit of a change. Forma Queen, who played the carry gyrocopter in the last game that we saw this team play, now piloting the Bounty Hunter in the solo hard lane. That leaves Shiibbyy on the Storm Spirit in the middle. We'll see what sort of antics he gets up to this game. His Magnus in the game against Ice Cream City was really impressive. I mean, he got 15-1, so we'll have to see how his Storm Spirit does. Then, the tri-lane will be composed of Hackle Shots on the support Mirana, Heartbound on the support Bane, and Barbara, who was the offlane Clockwork in the previous game, piloting up the Shadow Fiend in this game. So, Shadow Fiend, of course, also receiving a bug fix in yesterday's content patch for Dota 2. But it's a pretty significant bug fix. What it did is bring Shadow Fiend in line, or more in line, with what he is in Dota 1. So one of the frequent complaints about this hero, one of the reasons you didn't see him as much as you could, is that Dota 1 professionals and people who played a lot of Dota had a lot of concern about the ability to actually use Shadow Rays, and especially use multiple versions of it in a row. So basically the way the Shadow Rays worked up until yesterday in Dota 2 was if you cast one and then cast the next one, Shadow Fiend does the cast wind up for the first one, throws out the Shadow Range, then has a wind down animation before he can cast the second one. What they've done, what Valve has done is broadly in line with Dota 1, where you actually have to some extent the capability to machine gun the Shadow Raises. So if you cast a second Shadow Raise after the first, the wind down period is shorter than if you just cast one Shadow Raise, bring it down, and then move and then cast another one. So that is actually a pretty significant buff to Shadow Fiend's effectiveness in the guise of a bug fix. There's quite a few bug fixes like that actually make a difference. I mean, Batrider Vision was a big bug for a while. Of course, everybody knows about the Armlet Lone Druid and so on and so forth. A quick block coming in here from PGS, but it'll be immediately get dewarded by Best Quap NA. This Rubik spotting out this ward. They had a very good idea of where it was placed, and so no creep block will succeed from that. And another sentry ward placed here. So they've used their 2 sentries, one to spot out the bounty hunter if he pushes up the lane, and one to de-block this creep camp. So this will be a difficult lane for Forma Queen, frankly. He's going to have to be very, very careful on this bounty hunter to ensure that he hits the level 6, to ensure that he's able to actually get some XP and maybe even a little bit of farm, because he won't be able to just block the creep camps effectively. I know I forgot to put up the sponsor logos last game. Sorry about that, folks. We do have them up this game, and they're quite attractive sponsor logos, actually, so I hardly mind having them up here. We're playing with the Chaos Knight HUD as well. I hope y'all will be cool with that. Trilane coming out for Altered State early. We do see Forma Queen. He's actually playing this the Hannah Montana style, which is that you hide in the trees. You accept the fact that, you accept the things you can't change the things you can. Well, he's accepting the fact that he's not going to be able to come into this lane, but he will be able to get some XP, and the way he's going to do that is he's going to hang out in the trees here. A Quelling Blade actually helps a lot with this. Unfortunately, he doesn't have one. He went with a Stout. With Quelling Blade, you can just cut yourself a little bit of a tunnel here, a little underground railroad where you can get the extra amount of XP. But as a result, he's just going to have to wait out on the trees here. He does use his tangos to cut a little bit. He needs to get that XP range. This is still well within his XP range, so he's okay here. But if the creep wave comes all the way down here, for instance, it's going to be very difficult for Forma Queen to get any XP without walking out into the lane himself. But he is already at level 2. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Novocaine looks like he's been chased out already. He actually uses his ward. He's still willing to try to fight this out in this lane for now, but it's going to be tough for him, frankly. There's so many stuns that come out. Bane Mirana is a pretty terrifying combination because, of course, Bane has a 4-second disable at level 1. And the way that this is balanced in Dota is, hey, you can't hit the person. You can't auto-attack them while they're asleep. But, oh, here comes the speculative arrow. It doesn't quite land very close. Scary moment there. But if Heartbound gets, for instance, pretty quick boots on this Bane, he can just pop the Nightmare, and that's more or less a guaranteed long-duration extra damage arrow. And that could be very scary if you're Novocaine. Novocaine's going to not probably feel super confident coming up into this lane, to the point where I almost think sooner or later this Nature's... Another arrow narrowly misses. Sooner or later this Nature's Prophet, in my opinion, is going to have to head to the jungle. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Storm Spirit and Puck already basically dueling it out. Storm Spirit 10-4, Puck 8-1, both doing quite well in this lane. I'm Famous a little bit more starved for mana. He is only about 5 gold off from that, the ability to get his bottle. Of course, no Flying Courier, but he was pooled, it looks like, regen. No, he actually wasn't pooled. He just went the Null Talisman and the Tango, so usually you see Pucks actually being pooled a bit of gold so they can win that lane, but in this case, not. And so far, the level advantage kind of favors Please Gank Shiibbyy. Already the level 2, almost 3 on the Bounty Hunter. Oh, actually, I missed the first blood, I'm sorry. We did finally get that Nightmare used into the arrow. I kept watching that, and the moment I turned it away, we actually get the first blood. That's my fault, folks. Sorry about that. Hopefully that won't happen again for the rest of the tournament. And Nature's Prophet going to come right back here, so Novocaine, undeterred by the fact that he just gave up first blood, is just going to come right back into it and try to get his levels. Level 1 still for the Bane, but I mean, 2 heroes, Best Quap NA and Novocaine, both still stuck at level 1 here. And Puck and Storm Spirit continuing to duel it out. This is a fairly even lane so far, and I expect it to stay more or less even. The issue is really this lane. It's the bottom lane, and the fact that Forma Queen now has the lane completely pushed into him. He's actually going to be able to, he misses the last hit there, but he's going to be able to get a couple last hits, and he's going to be able to get some XP, so it's concerning. They have started finally up the train of pulling creeps, so this will deny much more XP to the Bounty Hunter, but they needed this a little bit sooner probably. It's the trouble that Novocaine finds himself in here. He finally is about to hit level 3, so he's done okay for himself, but they could quite possibly just sleep him again and cause some trouble. Forma Queen, meanwhile, yeah, I mean, he's still leveling up, and in the mid it's fairly even. Shiibbyy, not quite clear on what he's going yet. He does just have his boots. He's going to hit his ball lightning pretty quickly. I don't think there'll be much issue of getting that. He actually has an unspent point, unless he wants stats. Yeah, he has an unspent point, still deciding on whether he wants to put the second until Vortex or not. Here comes the arrow. They hit on Novocaine again. That'll probably be a nightmare if they want it. They may need one to just secure this kill. Maybe not. Body block coming out from the Bane. There's the Shadow Raise, and the last hit goes to Shadow Fiend. That's a second kill participation for this Shadow Fiend. This is trouble for Altered State. I'm not sure that they can afford to keep sending this Nature's Prophet into the meat grinder. Maybe they want to have a delayed jungle start at this point because he is really struggling. Not even level 3. I think he wanted to maybe get the rank 2 Treants, but I'm not sure he can wait. Meanwhile, they may try to get Forma Queen, but he walks away. The Sentry Ward, oh, he walks west. Sentry Ward place covering his east escape. Very nice instincts from Forma Queen there, actually. This Bounty Hunter is going to hit 6 without actually too much issue, I think. He's doing fine so far. Here comes the first, another gank. I'm Famous gets taken out by the Brain Sap, and that's another kill. Even without the arrow landing, we said that this Bane Mirana roaming might lead to some trouble. And so far it is. PGS looking very, very clean, very strong in this game against Altered State. Shiibbyy, that'll give him a little bit more of an advantage, now halfway through level 6. In general, I'm Famous was taking a lot more damage in this lane, and that's really secured with this additional play from Shiibbyy. He now 26 for 9, Puck falling behind at 16 for 2, missed a great opportunity there. Oh, Novocaine. See, this is the problem with the delayed jungle start. You can just get preyed on by the Storm Spirit. He knows where you are, he knows that he can do a lot to you, but has he overextended? Is this excessive exuberance from Shiibbyy? He uses the Ball Lightning, he does get silenced and stunned. There's the stun from the Lion. There's the telekinesis. No way Storm Spirit lives here, I don't think. Best Quap NA should be able to secure this. Yeah, Lion actually getting the last hit. So a trade of 1 for 1. They keep the Storm Spirit a little more oppressed, but he still gets a kill. He still keeps that Nature's Prophet down, and Nature's Prophet really in trouble at this point because where is safe? If you know that your jungle isn't safe and you know that solo lane isn't safe, he's decided to head back to the solo lane. I mean, maybe he feels a little more confident. Still stuck at level 3 here, though. And meanwhile, Barbara at 27. Oh, here comes the arrow. He narrowly dodges it. Boots is going to be really important. All right, he's got tier 1s. Maybe even tier 2s would be good soon here. Power Treads picked up for the Storm Spirit, and PGS, I mean, this Bounty Hunter probably going to hit level 6 pretty soon. Lifestealer farming well right now, just up in the jungle for Cian. It looks like he's going to go the Midas, because he does have this early Gloves of Haste. The other opportunity, I mean, there's 3 ways you can go with this, but I think because he doesn't even have tier 1 boots, this is almost certainly a Midas rush. Not the fastest Midas in the world, unfortunately. And the other options being fast armlet or fast tier 2 boots. There's the Sentry Ward. Here's the rotation from Puck. Waning Rift. Open Wounds. Another hit. Yes! They finally get a pick off on the Bounty Hunter. An important time, too, as he was heading towards his level 6. Nice kill for Altered State. Definitely keeping themselves in it, keeping the pressure up. Puck rotated for that. This is more advantage for the Storm Spirit, but that's okay. Get those kills, get that advantage, try to make sure that that Bounty Hunter doesn't start tracking you all over the map. I'm Famous just sticking around a little bit here. We'll probably see this Puck retreat back to his lane in a bit. The Speed Demon with the Fire Feet there. Pretty gaudy courier if you ask me, but that's alright. Shiibbyy, meanwhile, he's got the Power Treads. Have to see what he actually goes for next. It looks like it's probably, he just finishes off his magic one. So we'll still to see whether he decides to go that fast Orchid Malevolence or something else. Orchid, very, very strong against both Puck and Nature's Prophet, so I would expect him to actually go it. And Best Quap NA, he has the boots. So boots considered very important in this game. Look how early both these supports picked up their tier 1 boots. Not really going that many support items, just going straight boots. And boots really on everybody in the map. I'm somewhat surprised. Only Cian on this Lifestealer, and who doesn't really have that great levels either. A lot of time spent in this tri-lane by these supports. Interesting. So, Lifestealer, he finishes off... Oh, no, he actually does full phase. So he went the Gloves of Haste just for attack speed and just for extra jungling speed. And he makes the phase. I was actually concerned about the Midas. I thought that it was... I didn't want to say it, but I didn't think it was that great of a choice. If only because you know that you're going to face a Storm in the early to mid game from PGS's lineup. So taking a Midas is basically conceding the fact that they're going to just dominate you in the early game. So... pretty smart pickup to avoid going for the Midas. He can convert this Gloves of Haste now into either a fast Mjolnir or a fast Armlet, I suspect Armlet, and have a lot of great early game effectiveness while also getting those phase boots delivered to him. And Nature's Prophet honestly has done better after those fast 3 deaths. Oh, have they overextended? Heartbound. He could get punished here. Nice fast Nightmare on I'm Famous. The transfer onto the Rubik, even though the Nightmare was already probably wearing off, and I'm not sure they can chase this. So... Altered State not able to take advantage of what could have been an overextension on Please Gank Shiibbyy's part, and Forma Queen rotating over as well, so maybe they want to make something happen. Maybe they want to get some action. Farmer Queen rotating around, still trying to find a gank. Maybe he was trying to get the Puck there, but Puck, of course, far, far away. I'm Famous just heading back to the fountain there. Cian, meanwhile, continuing to farm. His farm is okay. 33-4. Which, unfortunately, the main difference is here, we've got 54-19 for the Shadow Fiend, so he's getting all the farm he could possibly want. Interestingly enough, Shadow Fiend with a tremendous amount of saved gold. He misses the last hit on the tower, shame on him, but it's okay. If he wants something like a quick Shadow Blade, he could honestly have it right off the bat here, because he's 3270 unspent. What is he planning to go? It's interesting to save this much money up on a Shadow Fiend, but he's had no death pressure yet, so maybe he feels comfortable. Some sort of big ticket item could be in the wings for this. We have to just keep watching to see what it is. I'm surprised he hasn't spent this. Meanwhile, PGSE might get the courier snipe here. One more last hit. The courier is slowed. It's unslowed. Yeah, they use the speed boost, and the courier gets away. That is a relief for Altered State. This wasn't carrying that much, but it would have been a huge shame. Yeah, he picks up the Shadow Blade in one fell swoop. Cian, meanwhile, still farming, but, I mean, he really doesn't shape up to the net worth of the Shadow Fiend. I mean, 42-15. Meanwhile, fight in the middle. Already picking off one. The Lion on the ground. Best Quap is stuck in a nightmare. The entire team here, and they easily pick up that kill. 2 more kills for PGS. They are looking very, very good. Just as crisp as they looked in their previous game against Ice Cream City. And just massing up in that middle. Lots of motion back and forth across the map, and just converging up on that middle, getting 2 quick kills. In Altered State right now, they don't really have control of their map. Lifestealer picking up an Orb of Venom, probably trying to finish out his armlet next. But right now he has a tall task ahead of him, only at about 2,900 net worth to the 4144 of Shiibbyy and about the 5,000 of Shadow Fiend, who of course has that Shadow Blade, now has the ultimate to go with it. Shadow Blade, one of the best items to pull off your ultimate. Ooh, actually trouble for I'm Famous. Nice Waning Rift response. He's safe for now. Just that level 1 Waning Rift. Shiibbyy actually taking a tremendous amount of damage as well, but V-Carbs, he is taking a pounding. There's the Lion Finger of Death to kill the Storm Spirit. Did they overextend? There's the Shadow Fiend ultimate. It may not be enough. Barber taking tremendous amounts of damage. Novocaine will live. And actually, this was a bit of an overextension. There's the arrow. Best Quap NA caught in it. It looks like Mirana. Hackleshot's going to pick up a kill here. Actually, the arrow is stolen. He turns it around. He stuns the Mirana. One more last hit will hit him. No, it won't. The Mirana goes down. 3 kills for Altered State. They lose their tower, but it's a deny. That was overconfidence from PGS. They should not have done that, probably. And they lose 3-0. In the end, really great responsiveness from Altered State there, especially the quick waning rift to respond from I'm Famous, who could have dropped very fast. Phase boots on him, just trying to run away from all these sorts of ganks that could get thrown out. It's very rare that you see phase boots Puck, but this might be a game where you want it just to get around, especially when you're silenced, because of course you don't... If Storm Spirit silences you with his quick Orchid that he might get, you could be in a lot of trouble, but Phase Boots might actually walk you to safety. So, nice play by Altered State there. Very nice coordination in that team fight. Really gives them a lot of hope from that. That's going to be a decent chunk of Lifestealer's Armlet. Of course, has 4 feasts, so he's really gone this jungle-heavy build. Now, picking up the Helm of Iron Will to add on to it now. And PGS, they lose their Shadow Fiend, they lose their Storm Spirit, and they lose their Mirana. Not a great fight for them, frankly, especially with no kills. This Bounty Hunter still with no kill participation. I think he got 1 track off, but that's about it. He has picked up the Medallion. This will make ganks easier. Of course, if they want to go do a Roshan at some point, we've seen a paucity of Roshan attempts in this game. Very, very few teams have actually gone for the Rosh. But we could see a Rosh here, especially with this Medallion. They could get a little earlier than a lot of teams might expect. So, PGS, I would still rate them as ahead in this game. I mean, 4,000 gold advantage. They've had the better farm. Storm Spirit now with a haste rune coming in on Best Quap NA. No way that this Rubik lives. They actually get the track gold as well. That'll give them a little bit of an extra track advantage, just using that haste rune to great, great effect. And they're going to have to farm up this Lifestealer. That's really the task that's set ahead for CN here. And he's actually going for Ancient, so this is slow but safe farm, basically. I mean, expecting not to get ganked. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Novocaine gets caught out again. Nice kill. They use just Starfall Leap. I mean, it just gives the move speed AoE to your team. And Shadow Fiend participating in another kill now, 3-1-2. Probably picks up his tier 2 boots off of that. Treads for Mirana, probably treads for Shadow Fiend if I had to guess. Yep. Double treads, more treads for the tread throne, in fact, as they have 3 pairs of power treads in this game. A lot of attack speed getting thrown out from this team, and that's a nice set of kills for PGS as well, reasserting their superiority on the map after that somewhat sloppy team fight. Bounty Hunter, probably going to pick up his tier 2s as well. Yeah, he doesn't go treads. I would have been shocked if he went treads. He goes phase. He might get ganked out here. Do they have a sentry? What they do from the Lion? There's the stun number 1. He's going to use his Hex, not even needing it. Just uses the Finger of Death to get that kill. Lion getting these kills with the Finger of Death, it's actually done quite a bit of work. I mean, it does a tremendous amount of damage for when you get it. Just has a super duper long cooldown. The issue for Altered State is, I mean, Novakane's still struggling for levels. He's at level 6 on this Nature's Prophet, right down where Hackle Shots and Heartbound are. Now, if he gets, oh, Lifestealer getting picked off, just a tremendous amount of pressure. They use the Fiend's Grip for that, just Nightmaring in response, and here we go, the Moonlight Shadow to leave. They let the Dream Coil come off. Actually, a stun here. Here comes the Sentry Ward. They may actually pick off the Bane, maybe? Yes, the tail end of the Illusory Orb. Shadow Fiend, however, will get away. But still, at least they get a kill in response for losing their Lifestealer, but that's trouble. I mean, Cian still doesn't have his Armlet, and that's definitely problematic. The level's also starting to not favor them. Only level 8 for this Lifestealer. Nature's Prophet, of course, does he have his Midas? He's going to get Midas. That'll help him XP. But Nature's Prophet level 10. Barbara now with this level 2 ultimate that he can use with the Shadow Blade, and still continuing Shiibbyy controlling the map. A quieter game than his Magnus game, where of course he went 15-1, but still a game in which he can intimidate the opposing team effectively. He has one of his 2 Oblivion Staffs going to build towards that Orchid Malevolence. That'll put a lot of pressure on Puck, and really a big part of the story is farm. 91-23 on Shadow Fiend, only about 50 for 5 on Cian. Barbara is just tremendous relative to the field if you look at net worth, if you look at farm. Now 3k ahead of Lifestealer. And I talked about how Shadow Fiend can get shut down. He hasn't been. I mean, he can Shadow Blade his way on out of here. Here's the Nature's Prophet carrying a Lifestealer payload, but the problem is, do they have the detection remaining? And I'm not sure that they do. They have a smoke, but they don't have a sentry. He actually is in the... Rubik is in the Bounty Hunter still, just clearing out their stacked jungle camps, adding insult injury. But will Barbara be caught out? He doesn't have mana for his Shadow Blade. He might get killed here. This is a completely unnecessary death for Shadow Fiend. He loses all the gold he stole in that jungle camp. Actually, his ultimate dealing tremendous amounts of damage to Novakane, but that will be the Midas completed. That will be a Midas for Novakane. And he should buy it soon. Yes, he does. He does. That'll get him some XP. Please gank Shiibbyy. They keep getting an advantage and then kind of frittering a little bit of it away. Now, they are consistently out farming, and that's a big deal. Puck going for, looks like 4 staff, by the way, interestingly enough. Not Blink. Maybe even Power Treads? I don't know. I mean, sorry, maybe even Necronomicon. Nonetheless, Mechanism, sorry, Midas will help Nature's Prophet catch up. They actually don't have a Mechanism, quite prominently. I'm Famous just running pell-mell from Forma Queen and Shiibbyy. He does not have the tier 1 tower. He cannot juke to the tier 1 tower. Here comes the stun. Here comes the track. He's going down. That's a dead Puck. Stolen track, actually. This could be a big deal. They really need to try to make up for this track gold. Here is the Sprout, but Novakane, he's in no man's land here. He won't even get to use his Midas the first use. Oh, that's a lot of lost Midas time. 2 deaths already. Moonlight Shadow is just going to keep chasing. Actually, the Bane is tracked, but oh, there's the Fiend's Grip. Best Quap NA will go down. He will not be able to use that track more than once. 3 kills on the board for Please Gank Shiibbyy, and again, in the open field, this team is terrifying. It's just in these constricted team fight that they really haven't been able to dominate, but that was excellent. Excellent play there, stringing together just about everything, including the Moonlight Shadow reinitiation, and Shadow Fiend looks like going to just go all in. He's got the Mask of Madness, sorry, the Morbid Mask, probably turning it into a Mask of Madness, but if he's feeling very confident with his farm, maybe he'll just leap ahead to the Satanic, who knows, frankly. I think probably Mask of Madness. The attack speed's much more important for him right now, and that's tough if you're... Oh, wow, is Puck actually going Dagon? Maybe he won't go Necro. Maybe he'll just go straight for the Dagon to try to pick off heroes quickly, but that seems very optimistic. Bounty Hunter, meanwhile, finishing out his Magic Wand, going to build drums. Makes perfect sense, just good, solid items. You already have 2 cores, especially the Shadow Fiend, just going crazy on the farm, and Cian with this semi-jungle approach lifesteal just hasn't really been able to get that much farm. I mean, he's not killing the Ancients fast enough. Orchid Malevolence complete. Lion actually has the smoke, but it doesn't matter because he's tracked, so that was a very effective track for them. Best Squap and meanwhile, just wandering around. He takes the Orchid Malevolence to the face. There's no way he doesn't die. This was way out of position for this Rubik. Meanwhile, the gank attempt from I'm Famous with the Cian payload. Oh no, he gets stunned. This is so bad. They might get the courier. They don't get the courier, but V-Carbs dropping incredibly quickly. Shiibbyy, of course, with the DD rune. One more hit. Yes, the track kill already. Meanwhile, up here, I'm Famous trying to turn this around. Former Queen takes a tremendous amount of damage. Cian trying to pick him off. The Puck in the left zero still up, but here comes Shiibbyy with the reinitiation. Another kill. Cian in trouble. No mana for his rage. No cooldown. A complete wipe, and just for the Bane. This Shadow Fiend, way too terrifying. Helm of the Dominator, in fact, was picked up. And the good, oh man, that Mirana stun, that arrow, landing and just making it so that Altered State could not take that fight on their terms in any sense. 9,000 net worth for Shadow Fiend, and this is quite dominant. This is way ahead. Please gank Shiibbyy, showing I mentioned that they might be the favorites going into this tournament, and right now they're looking like the favorites. Shadow Fiend just farming the heck out of this Ancient stack. Look at how much he's healing with that Helm of the Dominator lifesteal, just picking off those Ancients very quickly. And the Altered State, they did quite a bit of work to stack those Ancients, and they're just not able to even get them. This is going from bad to worse for them. I mean, look at how the dip in the graph at that point. Meanwhile, another gank. Silence up on the Nature's Prophet. No way he gets out of this alive. Shiibbyy now taking control of this the way he took control with Magnus. 10-2 on Storm Spirit. And they are just, their initiation power is so incredibly strong. The only kills Altered State have managed to get is when they catch PGS off guard or when PGS overextends. And the room for PGS to extend and overextend is actually increasing. They're being able to actually just go farther and farther in as their farm advantage becomes stronger. Shadow Fiend, he's got the Demon Edge. He could go for something like Daedalus just to do tremendous quantities of damage to these squishy heroes that Altered State are bringing to bear. Nobody really that far behind on levels. It's more that the Shadow Fiend is just so far ahead. Here he comes with the Shadow Blade. He is lifted up. They have the Sentry Ward here. Barber actually way out of position. He goes down. Puck ends up killing him. And that's a great kill. Getting a level 14 Shadow Fiend gives you a lot of AoE gold, a lot of AoE XP. Nice job by Altered State there. The Sentry Ward, something that PGS wasn't really ready for. And this is a tier 1 tower. PGS just trying to defend this tower. Forma Queen might get a deny here. Actually, Novacaine, he stayed in way too long. He'll get picked off. That's extra track gold. He does get the tower destruction, but he pays for it with his life. Meanwhile, CN and company, they're feeling the pressure. They're feeling the need to 5-man a bit, pressure some towers. They did get 2 tower kills as well as a kill on Shadow Fiend. Good for them, but unfortunately Nature's Prophet gave up a little bit of track gold there as well. So, tough situation that Altered State finds themselves in. They know they're behind. Now, they're a good team, so they know how to respond to that. They know that they need to sort of start ramping up the ability to actually attack. Lion just, it's been so tough. He just earns his Tranquil Boots right now. Only 2 deaths, and just still, the gold isn't coming in for them. It's just not. Day gone for Puck, now complete. He's going to have it delivered to himself, so he's going to try to blow people out of the water, and maybe they can do this. Shadow Fiend has not been tanky, and the fact that he went for this Demon Edge and this Helm of the Dominator rather than try to go for BKB is a statement of confidence that may still come to hurt them, because he's been getting locked down in some of these fights. When Altered State can chain up their stuns and their CC, it actually causes that Shadow Fiend to drop. Oh, here comes the arrow. It lands on I'm Famous. They're going to initiate. Storm Spirit coming in from the left side. Oh, that arrow just completely set them back in this fight. The Orchid on the lifesteal. Look how effective that silence is. Fiends grip up on Imcarms. Lifesteal are just jumping into the Rubik while he still can. Rubik needs to steal Ball Lightning or they won't make it out of this. There's no way they make it out of this alive. Beyond God, Lester for Shiibbyy. Here he comes to pick off the Rubik. Best Quapane goes down actually to the arrow. Oh man, and Nightmare goes on him. There we go. The last hit. And that's 4 down for nothing. What a fight from PGS. The positioning, the arc that they took, arrow coming in from this end, and then immediately Storm Spirit coming in to take advantage. That was tremendous. What a tremendous initiation power this team has shown us in multiple games, and that may seal the deal. That puts them so far ahead. Shadow Fiend not even needing to participate in that. Novacaine trying to make a little bit happen with the split push, but it's going to be difficult as PGS, they're just dominating. They're running into this tier 2 tower. Fortification not up for 3 more seconds. Probably the tier 2 tower goes down. They can't even do anything about this. Lifestealer still on the sidelines for 10 seconds. All he's got is an armlet. Poor guy. 5,000 gold. 5,000 net worth, I should say. 5,400 on the Puck. They have a couple buybacks, or they just have one on Novacaine. Oh, the double damage rune up again on Star Spirit. Shiibbyy. My god, this guy has just shown us some fantastic solo mid play in both games. Just able to completely take control of a game. Now only 4 gold away from his BKB. I expect him to buy out for this. Here they go. Now they're going to use the medallion to secure Roshan for themselves. I expect this to go on Shadow Fiend, especially after the Star Spirit gets BKB, simply because there's no real reason. Nice job by Hackle Shots there. Just getting the extra damage. Oh, Shiibbyy, what is he doing? The solo kill easy. It's it. It's over for Novacaine. He cannot do any split push. They know about this Roche. They're coming in for it. Oh, it's a little too late. They get the Shadow Fiend Aegis already. Shadow Fiend, of course, we talked about how squishy he is. He becomes a lot less squishy now that he has 2 lives. Here comes the arrow. Will it land? No! Hackle Shot's not able to get the Hackle arrow in that game, but they're being chased. They don't have the speed to get away from this. There's the track. Excellent stun. A stun on 3. Will they try to initiate? I'm Famous with that huge Waiting Rift and Dream Crawl, but he doesn't have the health to survive. The Shadow Fiend just picks off the Puck way too quickly. It was a good idea, but they don't have what it takes in terms of the damage. Oh, V-Carbs, he won't get away either. Shiibbyy continuing to chase. He's at so low health. One more hit from the Mirana. Yes, they pick him off, and that's more track gold for the team. Oh, man. Please Gank Shiibbyy are just rotating around. They're just rolling over Altered State slowly, like a bulldozer. They're bulldozing them. The puck attempted to reinitiate there. I loved this idea, the positioning of the stun, the impale from the lion, sorry, the earth spike, I should say. The earth spike, the illusory orb, the waning rift, the dream coil were all in place, but not enough damage. Maybe if he was carrying CN, maybe if they had de-infested, they could have made something happen, but instead, they take another 2 deaths, both of them with track. I believe that they can ill afford. Actually, one of them was with track. They can ill afford these deaths at this point. And Novocaine, you can see just how unsafe he feels at this point. Just trying to counter push with the treants, not trying to counter push with the actual hero. And I mean, who can blame him? It's a struggle. It's a serious, serious struggle. I'm famous. He won't be caught making the same mistake again. Already carrying CN. They're sacrificing a lot of farm for this lifestealer. You can see the level situation just incredibly dire for them. Level 11, their top hero, and that's Novocaine, and he's had the Midas. And everybody else level 12, 13, 15, 16 on Please Gank Shiibbyy. Just taking control of this game, showing why they were considered the favorites, why they're such a strong team. And there's the regen route for Storm Spirit. This makes him even more terrifying. He can just continue to ball lightning as much as he pleases for the entire duration of this regen rune. Storm Spirit, one of the only heroes in the game that can actually spend the entirety of a regen rune. In fact, I'm not sure there is anybody else that can spend the entirety of a regen rune the way that Storm Spirit can. He can just zip around. He can initiate from halfway across the map if he wants to, and he may want to. Mirana with the Orchid, Storm Spirit with the Orchid. Will they go in for this initiation? The regen rune is still running. The leap out of the Earth Spike, that was nicely played. Altered State, they thought they had a good initiation concave there, but they really didn't. And Barbara, he's coming in. He wants to chase with the Shadow Blade. Still about half duration. The Daedalus is done. Here comes Shiibbyy. They lock down I'm Famous. The BKB up for the Storm Spirit. Here comes Cien. He gets locked down with the Fiend's Grip and the crit from the Lifestealer. Best Quap NA on the ground. 3 already down. V-Carbs, I don't see a way that he escapes from this. There's the Moonlight Shadow. They get enough speed. The track improving their movement speed, and PGS right from the beginning. They just got everything that they needed to in this fight, and they will secure the win with the GG coming out of Altered State. Altered State will drop to the losers bracket round 4. I believe the losers bracket final, in fact. They'll face up against the winner of Ice Cream City and What's the Roche Time, and that will be the losers bracket final. Winner of that will go up to face PGS in the grand finals. Please Gank Shiibbyy, looking like the strongest team of the day so far, but stick with us, folks. We'll see if that pans out as we continue covering the Dota 2 Chicago Open, the inaugural Dota 2 Chicago Open. Sponsored by SteelSeries and Merlini Dota, held at the Ignite Gaming Lounge. I'm Vikrmond, your official caster for this event. You can check me out on this stream or on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, my own website, VYKROMOND. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys checking this out. We'll keep going in just a few moments. Oh, actually, let's take a look at the post-game screen first. Sorry, I've been forgetting the post-game screen recently. It's my own damn fault. Storm Spirit, 15-1 last game, 14-2 this game. Any team hoping to beat Shiibbyy is going to have to deal with... any team hoping to beat his team is going to have to deal with Shiibbyy's mid. Anyway, folks, we'll be back in a sec.